Welcome back. Finding ways to monetize talent is not always easy, but it's the only source of income for at least one creative artist. And as you'll hear in this week's edition of the Business Review, her talent is making room for her on the global scene. TVJ's Andrew Laidley reports.
I am making money off of my art because that is what I do for a living. I am an artist.
That's the reality for creative artist Charles Baker, who often doubles as a film stylist and designer. Her latest stint saw her assuming the role of stylist in the production of the popular film Bond 25. And when she's not working on film projects, this is how she occupies her time, creating different kinds of art pieces. She says that's how she manages to pay her monthly bills.
It goes from earrings that are maybe $2,000 up to, depending on the size of a painting, can be, I think probably the most expensive painting I've ever sold is probably anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000. But I mean, that is dependent on size, on time, you know, the size of the canvas, mixed media, because I do a lot of mixed media, your framing costs. So there's so many different variables.
But getting people to buy into her work isn't always a breeze. Miss Baker explains that it requires resilience.
Sometimes people say it's subjective, you know, they'll be like, oh, you know, like $5,000 for that. You know, people can be sometimes, but I mean, yet we'll go ahead, we'll travel, we'll go online and you'll buy Air Jordan sneakers for $300 that are mass produced, or sometimes it's a knockoff made in China. But I strongly believe that there's still people more interested in getting things that are more one of a kind. Like, nobody wants to have something that 10 other people have. At least I don't.
And that's not the only obstacle. She says getting the right financial support from her clients can sometimes be a challenge.
I think the biggest challenge is really just the financial budgets that you're presented with sometimes, like, you know, in terms of to bring forth the concept that a client may want. But in essence, it actually forces you to be more creative, because if you had the ready cash sometimes, like, you know, say in North America where everything is at your fingertips, and you have the financial backing, it's easy to just go and pick up things. But Jamaica, it forces you to be more creative because you have to think outside the box all the time.
But that's not enough to stop her from turning her talent into a business which works for her.
I've never subscribed to that philosophy of starving artists. So I think once you set your mind to something, you know, you can achieve it. But you know, of course, you definitely want to be more than just surviving. But you know what I mean, there are so many opportunities and you just have to find them.
So far, the artist has been working alone, but she says her medium-term plan is to include more people to help manage the business.
Ideally, I would love to have a business manager that could kind of deal with that aspect of it, and then I just do the creative, because it does take a lot to, you know, market yourself, to promote yourself, to make the things, to, you know, do all of that and find the avenues to promote and sell your stuff.
Andrew Laidley, TVJ News.